New Jersey Supreme Court upholds Catholic school's firing of an unwed pregnant teacher. The Supreme Court of New Jersey has ruled in favor of St. Theresa School, a Catholic institution that fired art teacher Victoria Crisitello in 2014 for becoming pregnant while unmarried, thereby upholding the school's right to enforce religious tenets as criteria for employment. Cristello's complaint alleged violation of New Jersey's law against discrimination, which generally prohibits employment discrimination based on sex, marital status, and religion. However, the court found that religious organizations are exempted from the law, enabling them to follow, quote, the tenets of their religion in establishing and utilizing criteria for employment. Peter Verniero, the lawyer representing the Catholic school, praised the decision, stating, "We are pleased that the Supreme Court upheld the rights of religious employers to act consistent with their religious tenets, and the court found that St. Teresa's School did so here." Equally important, the court found no evidence of discrimination in this case. This is a significant validation of St. Teresa's School's right as a religious employer. So, let me give a little bit more background. So there was this woman and she was hired, I think, as a like pre-K teacher at this Catholic school. And they offered her a position where they're like, "Oh, okay, you might be able to get a promotion and become an art teacher." And while she was interviewing for this like increase in her position, she mentioned to them that she was pregnant. And then a few weeks later, she basically gets called in and says that you're fired because you're having a baby out of wedlock, essentially. And at this point in time, the Supreme Court of New Jersey has ruled that the Catholic school has the right to do this. Whereas in any other form of employment, this would be highly illegal. Discrimination on marital status is illegal, let alone the firing of someone while being pregnant is also a major form of workplace discrimination. And oh, Cairo is asking, does pre-K mean pre-kindergarten? Yes, sorry. Um and so I'm no lawyer, so I don't want to get into the details of the the law, right? Because I don't understand the intricacies of this specific form of non-discrimination law and how it meets religious liberties. But I just think it these just this blatant exemptions and privileging, because I was thinking to myself, I was like, is there any other workplace that would get this kind of exemption? I can't think of any other workplace that would get an exemption from a discrimination law. And so what makes this different? What makes this different is that religious beliefs are privileged. And I was having an interesting thought to myself about, like, to what extent should a government state be involved in influencing the practice of beliefs? You know what I mean? But it's obviously religious privilege because only religion gets these forms of exemptions. Only these beliefs get these kind of exemptions. But it's
Would this happen in an Islamic organized like institution as well, based on Islamic standards? They could do that.
yeah, at least in New Jersey, they've upheld that decision. If if the case if the circumstances of the case were similar enough.
Can this be challenged, or is this final?
Um, well, if it was at the New Jersey Supreme Court, I believe they can probably take it possibly to a federal level. I'm no lawyer.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Zayd is saying watch a bunch of people who claim they have absolute morality leave a pregnant woman without a job.
Wow, good take, Zaid. Good take.
Yeah, Mariam, who is a lawyer, is saying it can be challenged to the Supreme Court. That's what I thought. But the
Mm.
problem is, it's like, because I was raised as a Christian, right? And I'm not saying that there wasn't like hypocrisy in my community or family, but one thing that was always reiterated to me was that Jesus was on the side of the outcasts. Like Jesus had prostitutes that were part of his like inner circle, right? And so when you see stuff like this, I'm not even a Christian anymore, but there's a part of me that's like, well, what about Jesus's imperative?
Mm.
Like Jesus's imperative would be to care for those who had gone astray by their standards,
Yeah.
to show
But
them
not like,
loving kindness. So even I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, but
yeah, but then, like, wouldn't like wasn't Jesus spending time mostly with the sinners? How come like his followers are just
exactly.
sinners away all the time? Like, aren't you supposed to, if you're supposed to follow Jesus's way, you need to like surround yourself with sinners.